New game. 867. Create my own. Faces look a bit alike, especially when you factor in royal inbreeding. Faces all look alike when you're all successors to Mordred Viking. Oh, we need to get married. We need to choose our lifestyle, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be military, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be chivalry. Because I do like my chivalryness. We have a lifestyle perk already, which is going to be stalwart leader, and that'll put us in charge of our own armies. So one of the other things which this has added, which I'm kind of excited to see, particularly with a 26 prowess character, is personal kills. And this isn't just murders, this is also people in battle. Oh, we started with a commander trait. Forest fighter. I mean, we are in the woods, so that makes sense. Cool. Where is that? Could have sworn it was going to be here somewhere. Maybe it's because we haven't actually killed anyone yet. That's entirely possible. / probable. Okay, so first things first, we should probably... No. So here's what I was thinking with the religion stuff. I don't think I want to reform it right now, because if we reform the religion now, that's also going to impact Scandinavia. I don't really want to do that. So I think that we set a date and reform it at that point. So it's not necessarily even going to be Mordred. Or we wait until we have someone with high enough learning who would theoretically have been able to do so. We set like a piety level. So we say 10,000 piety and then we'll reform. I like that plan. We're going to set a level which is 10,000 piety. The other thing we need to do is choose what our goal is. So at the beginning of this, I was talking about having a preset goal, which we would try to accomplish. Then when we accomplished it, that game is done. We would then save it. YouTube series would end. New game would begin. It's actually just continuing exactly where we were left off before. The only thing that would change would be YouTube. That's a new series. So what is our goal going to be? Maybe it's reforming the religion. How does reforming religion work in CK3? Is it holy sites and piety? Yes. Which is why it's a bit of a problem for us. Because all the holy sites are up here. There ain't none down here. Whatever you do, don't mention the von Habsburgs. Depending on how long you want the series to be, reach King Emperor rank. I want it to be a little bit more solid, so we have something to work towards, because the cool thing about March of the Vikings was moving around. I don't know that I necessarily want to, but maybe once we become like King of Mali, because I definitely want to be moving in the direction of the gold mines. Which, as I mentioned earlier, have now actually been changed. So I'm going to guess that Niani is going to be one of the gold mine locations. I'm trying to remember where they used to be. Diaka was one of them, I think. Seradu, I think, was one of them. Well, Niani has special building slot, so that's one of them. I think that Burr is another. Then the last one would have been Bambuk. Yeah, these are all the special building slots. So those are the 3 gold mines of Mali. And they are all in Mali. So I think once we're king of Mali, that's going to be our first stop point. Wasn't one of the kings of Mali the richest man to ever live? Yep, Mansa Musa was. Create a custom kingdom in Africa. Possibly. The reason I'm hesitating there is I actually quite like these preset kingdoms because it's easier to manage NPCs in them because they all have de jure territories. We can always rename the kingdom. And I think that would work better. So we're not necessarily going to be Mali, although for naming purposes, calling us the Viking King of Mali, it tells people where we are, what we're doing. How do you even get to the conclusion someone was the richest man to ever live? Because he owned basically all of the gold in Africa. He went on a pilgrimage to Mecca and spent several million on the way just handing out gifts. Threw around so much money on his own luxuries it caused inflation and upended their economy. Yeah. Destroyed the economy of Egypt when he passed through it on the way to Mecca. A what in Africa? A Viking in Africa. Still sounds somewhat arbitrary without actual numbers, but we're not throwing out the actual numbers because we don't know them offhand, but someone has made a calculation. Let me direct you towards the infinite wisdom possessed by Wikipedia. Just go to Wikipedia and look up Mansa Musa. Mali was the largest producer of gold in the world. Though there are some people that dispute this, which is good, because disputing is good. And now it's telling me to subscribe to the History channel. No thanks. I'm not seeing any estimates. Someone with more time can look into that. I bless the rains down in Valhalla. Nice. Okay. So yeah, I think the first goal for us is going to be becoming king of Mali. So the next question is, how are we going to get there? Because we can raid up and down the Niger, that's not too much of a problem. In fact, that actually puts us right near it. We get to here, and it's just a little bit of a rush across the plains down here. Okay. The other thing is, I just want to double check the men-at-arms. We don't have Huskarls yet. Not Huskarls. Where is it Huskarls? It is Huskarls, but we'll get them eventually. Although that, unfortunately, is heavy infantry, but they've rebalanced light cavalry. Light cavalry are no longer the be-all and end-all. They are now only really good at chasing. They're no longer nearly as good in combat. They're still very effective in open territory, as we're going to be in, but they're not as good. And also, apparently there was a bug where heavy cavalry were still really effective in wetlands, which would have been very useful around here. That has, however, been fixed. "12,000 slaves who each carried 1.8 kilograms of gold bars." There you go. You have a number. So, we can do a very, very basic calculation from just that. So if you say 12,000 times 1.8 gets us 21,600 kilograms of gold. Then we look up the price of gold per kilogram, which is $60,000. So we multiply that by 60,188. And we can now find out that he is worth 1.300061 E9. Whatever that means. My calculator does not go that high. Doesn't work. I think what that means is 1.3123 61 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. I don't know why I'm typing on my keyboard because it's not actually doing anything. 1.323 61 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So if I understand this correctly, that's how much money he had. Ish. Nine digits total after the decimal. Okay, so it's 1.13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's that. Ish. Bottom line, he had a shit ton of money. Yes. It's more than 1.3 billion. Bezos has got more than that. $1.3 trillion, maybe. That was just his... Yeah, that was just the gold he took with him. That's true. That's just what he took with him. Anyway, back to CK3. Seth Kettum, thank you very much for the follow. Rebel Viper coming in with a 3-month resubscription. Thank you very much for the ongoing support there, Rebel Viper. Then we've got Gokberg Caesar. Thank you very much for the follow. Boris Send, thank you for the follow. Sancho Panzo has come in with a donation for the D&D fund. Thank you very, very much for that, Sancho Panzo. Very much appreciate the support there. I'm sorry I missed that when it came in. In fact, I'm going to go and take a very quick look at Streamlabs to see if there are any messages associated with those, because I'm not sure that they display, which is a bit annoying. Not that I can see. Yeah, it would display here. Okay. Right, I need to remember how this game even works. So who have we got on our council? We're not married. That's probably the first thing we want to sort. Now, who are the councillors? So we've got one Ursaturu. You're an Oresian. You're Oresian. So we do have quite a few Africans working with us, and that's fine. We are going to need to work out whether we're going to be a zealous society or a tolerant society. Are we going to convert everything, or are we just going to be accepting of the local religions but have the leadership of our religion? Right, he just had 1.3 billion in gold. Basically his pocket change, yes. Money we just calculated is what he called pocket money for a vacation. Yeah. How do you find potential spouses? This is how. So, what do we consider important for potential marriage? Do we want to go with locals? Do we want to stay with Norse? This guy is not a zealot, so he probably doesn't care. We are going to say that maximum age will be 25. Maximum age difference of just 5 years. He's still only 18. Good genes. The thing is, it just feels so easy to just breed in these traits into your character line. I kind of wish that these weren't just shown. They were hidden. Because otherwise, yeah, you just go look for giants, and suddenly I'm scouring the entirety of Africa for that one giantess. It just seems really unrealistic. Well, I think what we would be looking for, considering our character, we're brave, we're ambitious, and we're just, we probably want someone else who has similar traits to Just, and probably also is a good fighter. Can crack a few skulls. Here we go. Just, wrathful, content. Or we can also go by some of our skills, which is almost always going to be the intelligentsia. Amina is bold, so she's not going to allow our kin to have those flowing, luscious locks which are so important to us. Fatim is hale. Humble, cynical, and calm. Not as good a fighter, but she has other abilities which would make up for some of her own shortcomings. Namunje, lustful, patient, and brave. I think we would, as a character, get on better with her. I'm leaning towards Namunje. Fatim is just not enough of a fighter. We want a fighter. Namunje it is. Not married yet. It's going to be changing soon, hopefully. Come on. Come on. Alright, the other thing we need to do is set up what our councillors are doing. So, Gida is our court priest. She likes us, but isn't giving us... Well, actually, she has no religious holdings. The other thing we should probably check is how well developed we are. Development 2 and Development 2. The locals don't particularly like us, so we can probably expect a couple of uprisings. You're a 4 holding, you're a 3. And then this is the whole duchy, so it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counties. Which we are probably going to want to try and unify if we can. Development 1, 1, 1. So we're in the richest location right now. I think we'll probably go for Igala, just to stop any of their neighbours taking it, and then we can basically backfill these two. This also gets us a little bit further along the river. The other thing we do need to do, before I forget, raiding. So let's have you... could also do some conversion in our homeland, actually. No, let's secure some more land, and then we'll backfill with the conversions. You are doing foreign affairs, which is probably a good thing. We'll stop people declaring war on us, and we don't have any vassals. You're collecting taxes, which is good, because that means more money. Could also increase development, though. What type of terrain is this? This is wooded? Wetlands. Minus 25% from wetlands. Ooh, these are jungle. This isn't forest. This is even worse. Oh dear. Okay, so forest doesn't seem to make a difference to development cost. Yeah, forest doesn't. Jungle does. But basically what this is telling me is it's not going to be worth developing the development here. Culturally, we're also not Norse. Culturally, we want to be Norse. So you may actually want to start converting this to Norse. Because we are going to want that homogeneous Norse culture locally, even if we don't necessarily embrace the religion. Although I think our homeland needs to be converted. So once we have got a claim on Igala, we'll start backfilling and converting the faith of these. You're going to organise the levies, that's fine. And you're going to do those things, that's fine. We are still tribal, so prestige is going to be very important to us. All the buildings do actually cost gold. Oh, one big change. When you feudalise, apparently there was what I imagine was a bug where your vassals' buildings wouldn't convert. So one of the big problems when you feudalise is you basically fall off a cliff when it comes to finances. You'd go from pretty wealthy to suddenly losing all of your money. And I suspect that's because your vassals didn't convert their holdings. Now they do. So you should have more stable income because feudals are far more reliant on vassal income. Do we need claims? No. Convert faith in capital. Please. Good point. Thank you for that. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is raise some raiders. And Mordred is going to be taking command. We've actually got a siege guy. How much would you cost? 6. Done. And we have a couple of knights who will be with us as well. Alright, so I guess we'll go to Igala and raid it. Although I must admit I am curious about the sailing up and down the river to go raiding. I don't want to raid my immediate neighbours because there's no reason to. What's unique about the state we're playing? We're Vikings in Africa. So raiding this guy is going to be out of the question because he's just got more troops than me. Most of the people along this river, though, we should be able to hit. We can just about take a ponder. So we disembark in 7 days. It's going to be 703 versus my 715. This is plain, so there's not going to be any advantage. This is going to be purely down to the quality of the champions. And me being a freaking phenomenal commander. I'm okay with this. This is going to be fine. Probably. Okay, 708 against 703. Another of the big changes which has come into place with this update is they have changed the way that this looks. Also, I've just realised that the funding bar is covering everything else. So I think I'm going to stick you there. That way you're not covering anything. Better location. So we have a commander advantage of 27 against their 13. We outnumber them, though only just. We have 5 champions, 87630 against 10868. So their knights are better than ours. So this is basically going to be commander skill versus knight skill. And we are losing. Badly. Well, that's unfortunate. Great start. Okay, now we're down to 400 troops. And lost all of the money, and also one of our councillors died. Our marshal! Brilliant! Thankfully Abbas is quite good. He's the guy that we just brought in. Oh, right, the other thing we should probably check is... Why have I still not got married? Did that not go through? I guess not. And it looks like they are no longer eligible. Yeah, Ingeborg is Norse, I did notice that. Wrathful, patient and arbitrary. We're just. We don't get on with arbitrary. We definitely don't want chaste. Leaning towards Fatim again. We definitely don't want any zealots. Oh, actually, Gulam. Honest, brave, calm. Relatively okay fighter. Decent learning. She's also a tiny bit younger. I don't think I want someone who's cynical, particularly. You know what? I think I'm more in favour of you. Let's try that. There we go. Now we're married. 900 soldiers, 300 soldiers, 600... So everyone's got more than me now. Let's go to Nur. Nope. No, we can't. We're still busy running away. Fine. You're not done yet. Oh, Noop's already been raided. Yeah, that's the problem with having lost that initial foray. There's someone already here. Because of course there is. 600 soldiers, they can raise enough to stop me. 483. They probably can. Bura 300, you can't. So of course there's someone here already. This is mine now! Wow, that was quick. Wife's pregnant already. Fortunately, you can't fight someone who's already raiding to take the raid from them. Unfortunately, I have a really bad feeling that we've already lost our opportunity for raiding season because we lost that first fight. With such a good general, I wasn't expecting to, but our champions are kind of garbage. What is our house motto? That's a very good question. Cunning with sword in hand. No, it's not. Done. It's just good business. 111 soldiers. Here we go. This is more our level. We can probably deal with this.